Hey, my name is Chaz. I'm the face behind Elevate Coaching. Just start off, I just want to remind you guys, please subscribe to this channel. I do a lot of cool videos on just race breakdowns and coaching, different cycling tips and workouts and things of that nature. So if you think that's cool, hit that subscribe button. Today's video, basically I'm just gonna break down a recent crit that I did this last week. Just kind of walk through some of the tactics I was thinking and just show you the live race footage. So here you go. Enjoy. So let's dive into this race. Right off from the bat, from the gun, right here we have Richard. He's from the new Velo Kings ATP coaching team. He takes off and he attacks. Does a little quick attack. And honestly, in crits, when you think about crits, when it comes to those, you have to think about, in the beginning, who's fresh? Answer is everybody. So when Richard attacked, for me, I'm really strong right now and I'm riding really well right now. I want to be off the front, and the me just wanting to go with that was extremely high. But I was going, you know what? No, I need to sit in, let people get some of these things out of their system, just kind of relax, hang out. So that's what I did. So I just jumped in, sat at the back, mid pack somewhere maybe. Actually, I don't even know where it was. Just kind of chilling, relaxing, having some fun. But this race is interesting. It's a local race. There's a lot of people in it from the local scene. It's really the first, it's our first practice crit of the year. I mean, we're barely into January, and this is the first thing that we had. Here on the left, in the purple and blue, that's Sean Bagley. He's a really good sprinter. He's got, I think he has a Masters title. I know he's got a lot of the SoCal crit titles. But here, everyone was kind of going chill, so I attacked. And nothing out of the saddle, nothing super serious. I just went fully seated. I went, when I come out of this corner here, I was able to look back, because you can see across that. I looked back and I had a gap. And I stuck it, and I was like, you know what? We're 60-minute crit. Let's see what happens. Just feel the legs out. I had a pretty hard workout week. I mean, this put me around 14, 15 hours for the week. So we just kind of went after it. Have some fun. I mean, it is a practice crit. So this is a perfect time to practice stuff that I probably wouldn't do in a real race. If I was in a real P1T race, I would not have done this move. If I would have gone and no one went with me, I would have definitely started to ease up and sit in a little bit. But because it's not a high priority race, it's a race where I can really kind of work on some different skills and play a different version of chess than I'm used to playing. I can take some risk in here, and if I lose, I lose. It's not a big deal. There's no money on the line. There's no t-shirt on the line. So I go off the front. I end up being off the front for, I want to say about 2 laps is what I did. So I went off front for 2 laps. Not a big deal. No one came with me. They did chase though. I will say I am marked for sure when we rolled up to the line. I roll in, everyone's going, hey Chaz, hey Chaz, hey Chaz, and instantly I'm going, well, great, I'm marked. And I honestly knew that. I mean, I just came off a killer season. I won Cal Cup at the end of the year, which is probably the biggest highlight of my career to date. Winning it was about a 10 series race that I was able to win. But honestly, I couldn't have done it without the team I had. The team rode exceptionally well. I think our sprinter at the time, Josh Carling, got 4th overall in the Cal Cup. And he had a killer year. He won the best all-around rider and all those. But anyways, so I came off a good season. I'm marked. Fast forward here. I went off for about 2 laps. And then right here, I started to get caught. And they come up, and the first person on the front, as usual, is going to be Mark from Velo Kings. Mark is an interesting dude. He does a lot of work. I think if he would just kind of work on sitting in a little bit more and realizing if things go off the front, he doesn't always have to go and work to bring it back. I think he would have some really good results. Now, he already has really good results. I mean, he's just strong enough to do it. But I think if he would work on sitting in and things like that, he would have a killer season. But he was on the front. He's also someone to watch. He was, when we did our little team meeting in the beginning. So in this race, it's me. It's going to be Nick, our sprinter, and then we have Tyler. A lot of you know him as the vegan cyclist, but Tyler's on our team too. This is the Ride Bikes team that I'm racing for this year. And we all basically said, hey, let's just kind of communicate throughout the race. Let's have some fun. Let's try to work on some things, see what's going on. And me and Nick, me and Nick had kind of talked earlier in the week, and we came up with a plan of like anywhere Mark goes, we're going to have Nick go with that. So anywhere that Mark went, Nick was going to shadow him because Mark is also kind of a sprinter. And Sean Bagley, who I mentioned earlier, he's also a sprinter. So like those are the two sprinters in the field. See right here on the left, we have our teammate Nick, the racing realtor, who's in a sprint video with me. Check that out. But he's our team sprinter. Dude's phenomenal. Like if it came down to a pack sprint, I had no doubt in my mind that he would win. So that's another thing about this practice crit that I really didn't mind. Like I'm gonna try all these cool things, but if it came down to a sprint, dude, our boy Nick has it in the bag. Like easy, just shooing it in the bag. I mean, he's riding really well, and he's super strong. But again, here's Mark. Mark's on the front. I don't know why. I don't understand why he's on the front. He doesn't have to be on the front. No one's forcing him to be on the front. He could pull off at any time. But again, I said like if this guy would just sit in more, he'd have a killer season. Like he has the raw talent. He has the grit. Like right here, he kind of sat up, and I was like, okay, you're done. And I sat up too, so I'm not doing that. But he didn't. Oh, and then right here, this is awesome. Sean Bagley starts to go off front. Tyler jumps in there immediately, and he follows. Mark jumps on his wheel, and we got the Zwift kid in front of us. This moment, I go, well, do I let the gap open? Do I not? Well, everyone was completely locked onto my wheel. I just kind of sat there and just kind of, look, I'm coasting up to them. So I'm not doing anything. We're going into headwind on this section too, so it's actually kind of hard to get away right here. But Tyler puts in a little a follow move with Sean Bagley, which is really good. I mean, that's what we wanted to do. If someone went off the front, we just wanted to cover it. We weren't really looking to initiate a lot of stuff. If anyone was going to initiate anything, it probably was going to be me. And I honestly did initiate most of the moves that kind of went. But Tyler's just doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he follows. So that's super good right there. Loved it. And then here we have just sitting back in, no frills, nothing huge going on. But because Tyler just did that little counter with Sean, I know Sean's feeling tired, and I know Mark kind of went with it. So I'm going to go. So it's my turn. I counterattack, and I take off. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but that's just kind of what we talked about doing. If one person counterattacks or goes and attacks, the next person needs to counterattack, and then someone else needs to counterattack. So here I went. It was my turn. Hit it pretty hard too. Like a lot of people when they attack, they'll kind of attack softly and they'll attack from the front. If you saw when I attacked there, I was probably 4 guys back, and then I went pretty hard, like almost a full-on sprint. Obviously, Mark came with me. The Zwift kid came with me. At this point, I was able to look back and see that we did have a little bit of a gap. And when I saw that little bit of a gap, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm in on this. This is fine. I think I'm okay with this. The Zwift kid, he's a junior. I'm not too worried about having to sprint against him. Mark, though, I am definitely a little worried about because, again, his strength is sprinting. He does have the grit to go the distance in the breakaway, but he's definitely more geared towards like winning sprints. All of his results really came from sprints. So then what I'm going to have to do as a breakaway rider is try and zap his legs. So every time I went to the front, I took a pretty hard pull. I'm doing 400 watts here. Yeah, that's not a cakewalk. We got Jeremiah Root on the front. He's from Ascend Cycling is the team. I can't remember what the name of the team is going to be this year. Anyways, he's like this mountain biker dude. He's got a pretty solid sprint too. So right now I'm looking at the situation. I'm going, okay, there's 2 sprinters up there, and then there's a junior, and then there's me. Okay, I'm not too worried about the junior, but then I got these 2 sprinters. So again, I go to the front. I'm like, I just want to wear these guys out. I want to take it out of their legs. I want to zap them. I know what I can do with my power and with my endurance, and it's 60 minutes. So I'm just going to ride, right around just under my 5-minute power and just zap their legs. And that's what I did. I would pull hard, and then I'd get off to the side, immediately just start to kind of soft pedal, let them pull through. Then I would jump right back in, and we would do it again. And then right here, this is amazing. This made my day. When I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, he's here. Nick bridges across. And this is huge, okay? Because I have Mark, he's a sprinter. I've got Jeremiah Root, he's a sprinter, okay? Now, my sprinter, which if you go and watch the sprint video they talked about sprinting with Nick, like the Joker can hit 40 miles an hour for almost, 20 seconds. Now he's here, and I'm like, dude, we are shooing. Like, this break is for sure a go. Like, someone call NASA and request a liftoff because we are about to take off. Like, we are going. All right. At this point, I'm gonna go all in. I don't care if they attack me and drop me or anything. I'm gonna go all in for Nick. So Mark's here. Mark pulls off. I'm sitting pretty on Nick's wheel. Now, one thing I did notice was Nick needs to know in this situation, he's the sprinter. He doesn't have to do any work. None of this falls on his shoulder. Like, he should see this as an easy ride to the finish. And honestly, I tell him that. So he starts to pull right here. And, it's nice that he pulled. Like, I love that he pulled. And then I got up next to him and I came around him and I said, hey, sit in, short pulls. Let's do this. I was like, you take short pulls and I will pull double or triple to cover for that. Like, it's not a big deal. I want you to sit in, rest, recover. But I'm also going to push the pace because I want to try and wear these guys down. So that's overall my goal, is to allow Nick to sit in and be fresh and recover, and also for me to wear these guys down. Man, I feel really bad right now. I'm actually going really hard. And it's kind of funny, actually. At one point, I think Nick said something to me like, dude, we need to relax. But at this point in time, too, I also have in my mindset, I'm like, dude, we're gone. I look back. You can't see the field. I'm going, dude, we're going to lap the field. Like, lap or bust. Lap or bust. That was my kind of mentality. I was like, dude, we are going to lap the field. Let's do this. And, of course, since I want Nick to sit in, I get over and I force him to the back. I go, hey, dude, skip the pull. Sit in. Don't do any work. And I think that's super important. So if you're in a team and you get 2 of you up the road, you have to evaluate the situation. And when you see in the situation, you have to look at it and go, okay, out of the 2 of us, who is going to be the best bet to win the race? Now, once you figure out who that person is going to be, the other person now should become the workhorse. So if you have 2 guys in the break, that is a free pass for one of you to kind of sit in for a free ride and do nothing. Sure, pull through. I think that is good etiquette, just to pull through and keep things rotating, keep things going. But don't sit on the front and smash your face into the ground when you're the guy who's going to be called upon for the end of the race, okay? And that's what we got Nick doing. So Nick, he does, he skips some pulls and then he pulls through. Like, it's good etiquette. He's keeping it going. But at the same time, I don't want him to do a ton of work because I'm here and I'm fully invested in doing all the work. So Jeremiah drops off, and this is my opportunity to just kind of crank up the dial a little bit, because after you pull and you got to jump back on the train and we're doing 400 watts and our speed is going up to 28, 29, that hurts a lot. So every time, what I'm trying to do is, hopefully Nick is sitting in, and when it's my turn to pull, I'm going to turn the dials up just a little bit, make whoever just finished pulling, make their legs hurt because they're going to have to surge to get back on. And then once they get on, they're going to have to hang on. And then I'm going to pull off and go, okay, no big deal, your turn. And then Nick goes to the front. So I got Jeremiah at the back. He's tired. I got Nick up here. See, I told him, short pull. He takes a short pull. And then right here, so Nick goes to jump in, but remember, we had a fourth guy with us, right? There he is. I knew he was there. I was like, dude, no, I'm not. Like, I know I'm hurting you maybe with some of my pulls, or maybe you're just hurting in the break in general. But no, we not skipping turns. Like, I will sit out. I'm doing more than my fair share in this break, so I'm going to sit out, let him fill back in, and if he doesn't want to fill in, then fine. I'll just go off the back and sit with and chill with him. It's not a big deal. I'm not worried. Nick's up the road. He's our sprinter. Win-win for me. But that's what happens. So you got to take into account those things too. So if there's two of you in a break, you want to establish one of you to do all the work, and you want the other person to be the one who's going to be basically your breadwinner, who's going to bring home the gold in the end, right? And then if you're working in the break and there's two of you, or even if there's just one of you, and you see a guy just kind of dangling off the back and skipping pulls, you don't have to immediately jump in and get the wheel in front of you. Like, just start to drop off the back. Go with him. Like, if they're not pushing it and hammering in front of you, just drop off and go with that other guy. And it's going to force the other guy to jump back in. It's going to make him more tired. You're going to be immediately on his wheel. Like, that's a perfect strategy, honestly. It might, if you're not strong enough to do that, then, that can hurt for a little bit. But for me, like, the little small acceleration to get back on his wheel, to get back onto the main group, I'm not worried. Not worried at all. So again, I'm just sitting in here, sitting pretty. I think this is the point. Nick, he grabbed my jersey through the corner. And he was like, hey, dodo bird, doo-doo head, stop pulling so hard, because I think I was starting to hurt him too. And, I felt bad, and I was like, okay, I totally get it. But in my head, I'm like, bro, you don't understand. We called NASA for a liftoff. I want to, like, full gas lap the field. Come on, let's go. Let's get on the same page. But he does have a point. Like, if my teammate tells me, dude, you're hurting me, that's not good. So then I need to back off, and I need to not hurt him. So I just start to chill. I go, okay, I need to watch this now. So I'm just going to sit in. I'm not going to pull as hard, but we're going to keep things rolling because I do want to lap the field. Again, over here on the left, Jeremiah Root, he's feeling a little iffy, and they're all kind of sitting up looking. Look, Mark looks at him and goes, dude, I'm done working. Your turn. And I'm like, all right, done. I'm going to attack now, because now I can already see that there's a little bit of the anatomy of the group isn't fully there anymore. Like, I kind of pulled really hard. Nick said, dude, you went too hard. I'm dying. They're all starting to die. They're not having a lot of fun. So that is my opportunity to just go and break away. And, okay, Richard right here from Velo Kings, which is Mark's teammate, I think he got dropped off the field. I'm assuming he's the one who attacked at the very beginning of the race. I'm pretty sure he got dropped off the field. And then what does the Joker do? He jumps on to my wheel, into Mark's wheel, and he starts helping us break away. Okay, so at this point, it's just me and Mark, and then we have Richard, who we lapped, and he's helping. And honestly, I don't know if that's fully legal in races. Like, I don't know if you can do that or not. I know, like, I have seen people where they know that their teammates are getting ready to lap the field, and, like, specific guys on the team will move towards the back of the pack. So when their teammates catch on to the back, then there'll be a free will for them to, like, ride through the pack back to the front. Like, I know that's legal. I don't know if it's legal to be like, oh, I got dropped. I'll just sit up and wait for the breakaway to come around because my teammate's in it, and now I'm going to join the breakaway and help them for a couple laps. Like, I don't think that's a legal move to do. But again, it's a practice crit, so, like, I'm not going to really care all that much. If it was a real race, I would have, and especially if I would have lost to Mark, I would definitely go after and talk to the officials and go, hey, is it legal what they did? And try to figure that one out. But again, it's a practice race, so it's just one I'm going to have to look up anyways, just to figure out, because I didn't really like that. Although it kind of made it interesting for me, because then I got I had to, like, redo the structuring of my strategy in my head and go, okay, now it's not just me and Mark, but it's me, Mark, and his teammate. So how do I make this pan out for me in the end, right? Because again, Mark is a sprinter. I don't want to sprint against Mark. The odds of me beating Mark in a sprint aren't very good. Like, I think I can maybe tie Mark in a sprint, but I don't know if I can outright beat him in a drag race. So that one I was a little iffy on. But again, Richard jumps in. Like, I don't like. I want to hear what you guys think. Like, leave in the comments what you think about that. Like, do you think that's a legal move or not? Um, don't give me the USA Cycling like definition and rules and all that stuff. Just give me your thoughts on it. Like, how do you feel about that? I'm a little uneasy with it, but again, it's a practice crit, so I'm gonna let it go. It's not a super big deal. If it was a real race, I'd definitely go talk to the officials after the race and be like, "Yo, what's up with that?" But anyways, Richard's here, me, Mark. I don't even know what's happening behind us because I have no idea what's going on. I just know that we have a gap. Richard's doing some good pulls. For me, dude, this is a cakewalk. I'm taking mad advantage of this, just sitting in and resting. I don't know why Mark kept looking back. He was always looking back. Maybe he's looking for the pack. I don't know. He's like, dude, I'm done. I was like, nah, pull a little longer. Oh, this is why. Boom, Nick's back. Okay, Jeremiah Root's back. And Richard's still here. And then we got the Zwift kid. I think that's McCain. I think that's his name from Zwift. Anyways, Team Swift. It's SWIFT, not Zwift. It's Swift. But they're all here. We're all back together. Kind of crazy. We're just kind of doing what we do. At this point, I'm like, okay, now we're all back together. Nick's here. You know, what do I do? Are we all going to work now? Are we not going to work? Like, I don't really know what to do. So at this point, just kind of sit in. I look at Nick. He's looking good, you know, reading his body language. That's another thing. If you're racing with a team, it is good anytime you get close or around your teammates. You know, just kind of take a look at them and see what their body language is saying, because that can tell you a lot. I also like to talk to my teammates, like when I pull up next to them. You know, I'll say like kind of under my breath, I go, "Hey, so how you feeling, Nick? You feeling good right now? How are the legs? You think you got this? Yeah, okay, cool." Like I'll just real quick, you know, or they'll ask me to like, "Hey, Chaz, how you doing?" I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. It's a little fast right now. The last 10 minutes sucked, but other than that, like I'm doing pretty solid. So it's something good to think about if you're on a team. You know, check those around you and talk with them. Talk with your team. So right here again, we got Mark. He's got really no motivation to really pull hard or work. So I attack. I mean, he is the guy that we're most worried about, and he's the one that definitely on our radar before we started the race. Like we sat down, kind of knew who was going to be in the race, and he was one of the guys to watch out for. And I know I don't really want to take him to the line, and I know Nick can outsprint him in a heartbeat, but I'd rather wear his legs out and then let Nick beat him. Like that's just going to be the best bet. So I attacked pretty hard there, and then just hung on to it and put in a deep dig. I'm pretty sure he got immediately on my wheel. Like every time I would attack him, he was pretty good at getting back on my wheel pretty quick. But I attacked there. I looked back, saw that we had no gap, saw that you know, people were starting to come back. So then right here, I'm like, dude, I'm done. Someone else, your turn. Pull. Sorry, I'm done. And Mark's like, dude, he's just looking back like, really, you gonna attack me again? I felt so bad. But you know, he's back in the front again. Like I said, he does a lot of work, like a ton of work. But at this point too, I also think it's just me and him. So okay, fair enough. Like I don't want to work, but I attack him again. I'm like, boom, gone. Oh, it is just me and him. Yes, no, that's right, me and him. So my only bet is to take the sprint out of his legs if I want to win. So I attacked him a while ago, and I attacked him again right here. And right here, break. I attack. I feel like he digested his gel enough, so I went. I was like, boom, time to attack. We are not going fast enough. We need to make some action happen. And spoiler alert, he stayed on my wheel. He clawed back on. Boom, attack again. Gosh, Mark is not loving me. Just telling you, if I'm going to win the race, I got to drop this fool. So I got to go full gas. Okay, this is what I got to do. Little me, little roadrunner me. I got to try to take the sprint out of his legs if I want to be in a sprint, or I just got to straight up manhandle him and drop him. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I would start to, and then he would claw his way back on. So Mark, if you're watching this, dude, major kudos. seriously, you killed it. You responded very well. I know it wasn't fun and I wasn't the best person to be in a breakaway with, but here's some lap riders we caught up to. I used this opportunity. I was like, if Richard can do it, why can't I do it? So I used this opportunity to jump on their wheel and get a little free draft. And then I used them to do another attack. I know I played him done dirty right here. It was not nice of me, but I went full gas on this one. I feel like when I attacked him, like I went full gas, like deep in the pain cave. Like I was not playing around. I said, we're attack or die. So I went, and I think he hung on to that. But I was also pretty tired. Look at this. He keeps looking back. Come on, Chaz, when you attacking again? Honestly, he looked back and I waved. So I was like, hey. He laughed. Then him and Nick were talking. he was not happy. And Nick's just like, yeah, well, that's Chaz. Look, they're laughing. He's like, yep, well, that's Chaz. He just attacks and attacks and attacks and attacks. Sorry, Mark. Sorry, not sorry. Love you, bud. Anyways, this race is about to get super frisky. Like, it's about to get really good. I'll come back to talking about training later, but right here, we're all coming back together, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom! Tyler shows up. The VC, what? He caught the break. He immediately counters. And then he forces Mark to respond. This is completely beautiful. Like, this is what we want, okay? Tyler attacks. Look at Mark is like, dude, I am full gas. I don't know if he thought it was me, but he goes full gas in. Tyler keeps going, like trying on his wheel. I'm on Tyler's wheel. I come around Tyler and I'm like, dude, I got you. Get on my wheel. So I start to move over and I let him get on my wheel. And I see Mark is tired and he's looking back and I was like, all right, boom. He's looking to the left. I'm going to attack on the right. Boom. I go. So Tyler comes up. He counters. You're right. He catches and counters. Mark follows, responds. He counters. And right there I go, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I've been attacking Mark this whole time. He just blew his match. I'm completely fresh as a daisy. I counterattack. Pretty much from here, what happens is I catch this dude who's lapped. I pass him. I am completely solo at this point. Oh, fun fact, the mount that my Wahoo is on was rattling, coming loose. So I took my Wahoo off mid-race to like look at it, and the mount, like the screws came out and the mount fell off. And I was like, oh, so my Wahoo is in my back pocket. I have no idea what kind of watts I'm doing. This is like the first time I'm actually watching this footage and seeing what kind of effort I'm doing. But I'm going out and I'm all in. Like, I am solo right now. I'm all in. Tyler set up this like race winning potential move beautifully. Like, beautifully. No joke. Huge compliments to Tyler for that. Like, huge. He has no idea, because of the move he did, allowed me to do this solo. And there was some guys back there that are motivated. I think Sean Bagley back up to us, the really good sprinter, does a lot of SoCal races. He caught back up, and he was in the group. Of course, Mark is back there, right? And like I said, Mark loves to do work, so he's going to put in some good digs and chases. But I'm just like, dude, I'm all in. I'm in a zone. Like, this is what I wanted. I got some daylight. I took it. I am gone. And again, it is only because, one, I played Mark really well. I attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked some more. And then when we did get caught, Tyler came out of nowhere with a counter, and Mark completely followed it and then one-upped it with his own counter. And then when he blew up, I upped it with my counter. Beautiful race tactics from a team. That's how you read a race. That's how you see it. Fast forward, I'm still solo off the front. Coming into the last corner, I ended up winning this practice crit solo for like 12 laps. I know I go hard right here. I mean, it's a practice crit. I was like, I need to practice sprinting at the end of the crit. So it's a pretty long sprint. So I went for it and just sprinted. People were probably like, dude, what are you doing? You're solo. You're like, you almost lapped the field. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm working on a sprint. But then I got to turn around really quick. And here's Nick, super sick, just yelling at him.
Come on, Nick! Come on, Nick! Come on, Nick!
Boom! That's how we do. Thunder Lightning 1-2. Just kidding. That's what Nick said. Nick's calling us Thunder Lightning. So that was the first race of the year. I was honestly super excited with the result. It went really well. As a team, me, Nick, and Tyler, we all worked super good together. I'm really excited for what the season has in store for us. But outside of that, hey, if any of you guys are interested in coaching, like I do, what I did in this video, talking tactics and stuff, I will do that with you in person for coaching. So there's my website down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more great content like this. Also, leave me comments down below. It's always fun to hear what you guys think about different things. Share your opinions and your thoughts, and you know, maybe tell me what you would have done if you were in that race. That'd be cool to hear. So, as always, guys, hey, I will talk to you guys later. So see ya.